Hi guys, and welcome back to the basics of programming. So last time we talked about downloading Python and writing our first program. So if you haven't watched that, please do go back and have a look. In this episode though, we're going to cover how to use some important mathematical operations within your program. So we're going to cover addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, powers, and something called mod, which I will come onto at the end. So what I've done is I've opened up idle and I have saved this new file as episode2.py. And we're going to start with a bit of addition and subtraction. So we're going to use that print method that we talked about last time to display the results of our calculations. And when it comes to addition and subtraction, the symbols that we use are the exact same as you would in regular maths. So if I was to do 1 plus 3, that would be the same as normal, or 4 minus 2. Now, as per usual, I save this and then I can run it. And I got the numbers I was expecting. So 1 plus 3 would be 4 and 4 minus 2 would be 2. So that's all perfectly normal. When it comes to multiplication, we do use a different symbol. So if I was to do 2 times 2, normally in maths you'd put like an X kind of symbol, but in programming we use something called an asterisk, specifically in Python. So 2 times 2, I will save that and run it, and I get 4. In terms of division, we don't use the division symbol. We use a slash. So if I was to do 6 divided by 3, I'd do 6 slash 3. Save that and run it, and I get 2. Now the reason this says 2.0 and not 2 is because when you divide something, you're not always going to end up with a whole number, and so it's anticipating having to be a decimal. And we will go over data types in episode 5, so don't worry too much about that. We will come back to it. Moving on. So next we're going to talk about powers. So if I was doing like 3 squared, we don't use like this kind of symbol. We do 2 asterisks and then the number we want to do it by. So if I was to do like 5 to the power of 0, something like that, save it and run it, I end up with 9 and 1, the 2 numbers that I was expecting. Now, last thing we're going to talk about today is mod, and this is basically the remainder of a division sum. So if I was to do 8 mod 3, I would expect the result to be 2, because 8 divided by 3 is 2 remainder 2, and the mod is the remainder bit. So for that, we use the percentage sign. So if I was to do 8 mod 2, 8 mod 3, we talked about, save that out and run it, I get 2. Now, the good thing about mod, and the reason it's so important, is you can use it to find out if a value is even or odd. And you do that by modding it by 2. So if I wanted to know if 7 was even or odd, I'd do 7 mod 2. And the reason you can tell if it's even or odd is because anything mod 2 is either going to give you 1 or 0. And if it gives you 1, then the number is odd, because it cannot be divided by 2 to leave nothing. And if it's 0, then it leaves nothing when being divided by 2. Cool, so as I say, if I was to do 7 mod 2, you get 1. So 7 is definitely odd. And why that is important, we will come on to in another session, I am sure. But that is it for today. So all of these simple operations come in handy when manipulating values in more complex programs. So it's very important that you are comfortable with these. You need to have a big practice with these. Next time we're going to move on to taking in user input and using the input in some calculations. Don't forget to add a comment if there's anything specific you wanted to know. But that's it for today, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining me.